I'm Matt Hendra, co-founder of USA Warrior Stories. If you like our stories, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and please share them with your friends. For more information on this story or any of our stories, please visit our website, usawarriorstories.org. You'll find the link in the description below. Thank you. USA Warrior Stories is a not-for-profit organization designed to record, archive, and share videos of veteran stories, to help veterans make a connection with one another and to help us all better understand their sacrifices for our freedoms.
My name is Walter Scott Jackson Jr., and I was born in Inslee, Alabama, which is a suburb of Birmingham. And I was born September the 3rd, 1929, right at the beginning of the Depression, of course. Well, it was tough during the Depression. You know, we all had to scurry around to make ends meet. It wasn't easy, but everybody was in the same situation, so you learned to live with it. And fortunately, I had wonderful parents who were great providers, and so growing up, I never knew what it was to be without anything. Well, I was a child performer, and as I grew older, I kept performing in my hometown, and I was quite well known for what I did. So it was obvious that I had talent. So I decided to go to New York to seek other things, and that's when I did. That would be about 1951. I was a singer in the genre of people like Frank Parker or Kenny Baker, that sort of, the Irish tenor kind of thing, a high voice. After my time in New York, I was lucky enough to get a contract to go to Paris with Maurice Chevalier, and subsequently I stayed there doing radio and television and other shows. So I did 4 shows in Paris, but the last one that I did, I got a notice from the Army that I had to appear. So I had to leave the show and fly back to New York and subsequently to Alabama to go into the Army.
This is The Big Picture, an official television report to the nation from the United States Army. Now, to show you part of the big picture, here is Sergeant Stuart Queen.
Each year, the Army stages a service-wide competition, searching out the talent hidden in its ranks. And today, we want you to meet the best.
So I was an MP in the 3rd Army. I was lucky enough to get right away into special services because of my former career. And you can't be crawling in ditches and sing for the general's wife at the same time. So I got out of a lot of things. Of course, you do the basic things, of course. You perform for the troops, basically. The commanders would have parties, and whatever it was that they asked you to do, that's what you did.
Quand on aime comme je t'aime, que c'est loin de moi, j'emploie 1000 stratagèmes, ça n'avance à rien. Je regarde la pendule, j'entends son tic-tac, mon cœur. Elle n'avance pas, elle recule, chaque minute dure une heure.
For example, when I toured with the Army in an Army show, we would also appear in the hospitals in between the shows. We had a whole troupe. We had dancers, comedians, singers, everything, you know. Since I won the All-Army contest in 1956, they gave me a show to tour, and it was called Rolling Along. And we toured all the bases in all of the continents, really. We went to Taiwan, we went to Canada, we went to Puerto Rico, we went to Germany, Korea, all of the islands like Okinawa, anywhere there was a base.
Scott, did you do any special performances for a general or a diplomat or anything like that?
Oh yeah, especially when we went to Taiwan. We performed for the general there, who was the commander. Of course, and the whole audience was Chinese. They didn't know what was going on, but we did our show, and of course they were pointed at, and that meant they applauded, which was kind of interesting. One of the planes that we were on missed the runway, and in back of where we were all sitting on this Army transport, the scenery was buckled in, and it began to unbuckle and come. It meant that we were going to get kiboshed with the scenery. Fortunately, the plane made a second landing just in time, and we were saved. And you know, the band was integrated. Some of the guys were white and some were black, so it was interesting. But we got along very well. In the early days when I was at Fort McPherson, they flew me to New York many times to do television shows before I started on the All-Army tour, because I had won the contest in my home base. So they would fly me to New York to perform with people like Arlene Francis, who was the MC of one of the particular shows that I did. And they were a publicity for the Army.
His name is Scott Jackson, and he's from Camp Gordon in Georgia.
Well, how nice. Good morning. Private Scott Jackson, it's a distinct pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, now, what kind of work do you do, Scott?
I'm with the MPTC.
Aha, military police. What is it you're going to sing for us?
I'd like to sing a selection by Loulou Gastet, Le Soir.
Le Soir by Loulou Gastet.
Dès le matin, pour te revoir, impatiemment j'attends le soir. Le soir, tu es à moi. Le soir, j'entends ta voix. J'ai ton sourire et tes yeux tendres. Le soir, pour tous les deux, c'est l'instant merveilleux où nos cœurs se comprennent mieux. Le soir, tout m'appartient et jusqu'au jour plus rien à mon amour ne peut te prendre. Et si j'aime le soir, chérie, c'est pour ta voix, en moi, tout en moi, rien qu'à moi.
No, I enjoyed my Army life, even though it was the end of my career, but I did enjoy my Army life. When I was young, and everything is great when you're young. After I was really retired from singing, and I was the manager of Cokesbury Bookstore for the Methodist Publishing House in New York City, and I had a friend at Goodson Todman, the agency, because I think I had worked for them at some point, and they needed somebody to imitate a country singer.
And now let's meet our next team of challengers. What is your name, please?
My name is Bill Anderson.
My name is Bill Anderson.
My name is Bill Anderson.
Panel, would you please listen while I read? I, Bill Anderson, was a college student 6 years ago.
And they asked me to do this thing in 1965, so I did it. But the fun story is I had lost my basic Southern accent, So I said, if you want me to do the show, you have to pay for my telephone call to my mother, and we'll talk Southernese on the telephone for an hour. And they said, fine, so we did that. So that's what I did, so I could sound a little Southern on the show.
All right, let's find out now what these other fellas are. Huh? Number one, would you tell us who you really are, sir?
Yes, my name is Scot Jackson, and I'm manager of Cokesbury Bookstore in New York City.
Well, I finally became an antique dealer, and I had my own shop on Newtown Lane in East Hampton. It's a strange thing. When you're in a show, everybody bonds together. When the show is over, everybody goes their way. But that's showbiz.
I'd love to fall asleep and wake up in the arms of someone I've been dreaming of. When I turn down the light, that's what I pray each night to every twinkling star above. I've known that all along you make my life a song, just like the angels from above. Je me le soir, chérie, c'est pour ta voix, en moi, tout en moi.